अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. There have been different themes for the International Yoga Day since its inception in the year 2015. For 2015, the theme was Yoga for Harmony and Peace. In 2016, the theme focused on Connect with Youth. In 2017, the theme was dedicated for health. In 2018, it was Yoga for Peace. In 2019, it was Yoga for Climate Action. In 2020, it was Yoga for Health, Yoga at Home. This year it is the 7th edition for International Day of Yoga. The observance of Yoga Day and its theme is timely as a priority of the health is notable amidst COVID pandemic situation. Practicing yoga on a regular basis helps in increasing awareness, reducing stress, building immunity, helping in mental and physical health, thus regularizing the whole of our body. Indian yoga is practiced in different parts of the globe as this day shall be observed in 190 nations globally. Our Honorable Prime Minister on 6th International Yoga Day very rightly said that this day is the day of unity as yoga binds everyone. It's a day of universal brotherhood. The First Lady of Brazil in the opening remarks said Yoga Day provides a holistic approach to health and well-being and now becomes a world heritage as it continues to be widely practiced all over the world. I am very hopeful you all will practice yoga daily on daily basis each year. Thank you so much.
Hello all. Good evening one and all. I welcome all the faculty members, staff and students to the webinar on Art of Mind Control through Yoga and Meditation organized by Fit India Yoga and Health Club, School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. So I'm Karthik Chedalavada, Assistant Professor, Department of Architecture and a member of Fit India Yoga and Health Club. Welcome you all to the webinar on Art of Mind Control through Yoga and Meditation. So under the part of Fit India movement and upcoming International Yoga Day 2021, the present webinar was organized to improve the mental health and well-being, especially in this pandemic circumstances. Everyone should be mentally fit and physically strong. In order to achieve this, we need to regularly practice yoga and meditation. So under the part of Fit India Yoga and Health Club, I would like to brief about the Fit India movement in the country. So Fit India movement was launched on 29th August 2019 by the Honorable Prime Minister with a view to make fitness an integral part of our daily lives. The mission of the movement is to bring about behavioral changes and move towards more physically active lifestyle. So moving towards our present webinar, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our resource person, Sri Vilasa Vigraha Dasa, Project Coordinator, Akshay Patra Foundation and Hare Krishna Movement. Thank you, sir, for joining with us. And now we'll start the webinar session. So for this, I would like to call Dr. Y.S. Rao, the Nodal Officer, Fit India Yoga and Health Club, to introduce the webinar.
Thank you, Karthik. Good evening to one and all.
Good evening, sir.
Respected Director in charge, Professor Abdul Raja, and respected deans, faculty, staff, and my dear students. On behalf of SPA Vijayawada, Fit India Yoga and Health Club, I heartily welcome you for the webinar on Heart of Mind Control through Yoga and Meditation. This program is scheduled on the occasion of International Yoga Day on 21st June 2021. The main purpose of this program is to create awareness and educate our faculty, students, and staff about the practicing yoga and meditation in order to improve their mental health, physical health, or spiritual health and social health. That's not only by doing and practicing, not only improve their mind controlling the mind, but also improving the body abilities or body activities. Therefore, yoga and meditation is very much important in our life. The the main theme of International Yoga Day is for the year 2021 is yoga for well-being. This theme is very much fitted and very much relevant and very much reality in the present situation. As you all know, we are all facing the very severe coronavirus, which is being characterized as pandemic. This pandemic as takes away many lives. This not only affects the physical and mental health of the people, but also social and economic instability across the countries globally. Therefore, in order to protect or save from the coronavirus, we all need to follow certain protocols, certain precautionary measures, certain guidelines issued by the Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Home Affairs. They have given certain guidelines such as like social distancing, using gloves, or using sanitizers, or vaccination, or any kind of etc. You should follow thoroughly. During the pandemic, we have to maintain this kind of health precautionary measures. At the same time, we also need to follow certain protocols of yoga and meditation, which is issued by the Ministry of Ayush. And these are not only help in improving your health conditions, but also reducing your mental stress, depression, and anxiety. So therefore, I request you all to do yoga and meditation every day in your life, because it's our ultimate aim is to stay healthy. So health is so much important in our life. Health is so much important in our life. I am indicating again and again. Why? Because as the Swiss physician said, health is not everything, but without health, everything is nothing. So therefore, in order to protect your health, in order to recover your health, in order to preserve your health, we need some certain kind of exercises, like physical exercises, yoga, asanas. That means yoga means asanas. Then you need small walking, maybe cycling, maybe some flexibility, or you can stretch kind of exercises. The second one is breathing exercises. That means pranayama. So this kind of exercises are not only help physically, you make physically fit. Fit means when you are fit, you will feel like you refresh yourself. You are thinking like, I have some zeal to do something else. Your mind is clear, your mind is focused, and you can do good things. You are connecting the people, you connecting the nature, and you connecting the environment, which are positive in nature, and you have self-realized, and you have everything to do good for the society. So you will all thinking for non-violence, or teaching preachers, like kind of things you will get. So this kind of environment you have to create every day. You have to do yoga and meditation. So this is very much essential for all students and staff, faculty to do and take part of in everyday life. So my Ministry of Ayush simple message, this is: be with yoga and be at home during this pandemic time. So I request you all, students and faculty and staff, on the occasion of International Yoga Day on 21st June 2021, kindly post your photographs while doing your exercise or doing your yoga or meditation. And if you have any videos, you can send it to itsupport@spav.ac.in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Due to the busy schedule of our Honorable Director, and as she was in another meeting, Our director has nominated Professor Dr. Abdul Razak to deliver the inaugural address on behalf of her. Sir, I would request to please come forward for the delivering the inaugural address.
Thank you, Karthik. Are you all of you audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Karthik, and thank you, Dr. Rao. You have been briefed about the program today about this webinar, which is celebrated part of the Fit India Yoga and Health Club of SPA Vijayawada. I'm happy to invite you all on behalf of our director, Dr. Meenakshi Jain. Once again, I welcome you all. All of you know that this webinar is planned on virtual platform. We have been doing it in physically, but this time we're all not only ourselves, the entire society is still in the recovering stage from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. So the message which I have seen from the poster that be with yoga and be at home. It's very much go with the theme of yoga for well-being. That is the theme for 2021 as the International Day of Yoga, which is supposed to be on 21st June 2021. I would like to say two things here. And also I would like to welcome the chief guest today. He's going to enlighten us with significance of yoga and how we practically do that. So one thing which I remember, yoga is an invaluable gift of India's ancient tradition. It emphasizes on unity of mind and body, thought and action, restraint and fulfillment, harmony between man and nature, holistic approach to health and well-being. It's not about exercise, but to discover the sense of oneness with yourself, the world, and the nature. By changing our lifestyle and creating consciousness, it can help in well-being. Let us work towards adopting an International Yoga Day. This is what addressed by our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji at UN General Assembly recently. So the other point which I would like to highlight here, yoga is a good practice that brings together physical, mental discipline to achieve a peaceful body and mind. Yoga is a form of exercise that is performed through diet, breathing, and physical postures. Very interesting to read important point about yoga and how it is linked to the climate action. So I was very fascinated that I would like to highlight today among our friends. The climate action theme focus on the way how yoga can help us to solve the problem of climate change, and also it brings a lot more benefit to the lives of people. It is necessary to work towards climate change. Respect for Mother Earth overcomes regular yoga practice that will help people to act in a certain way at home and in the work environment to work and build a better future. At the end, I would like to say, let us celebrate together International Yoga Day, not only practicing yoga for one day, but to make it a part of life. Thank you all. I wish this program will continue, and I leave it with Dr. Rao and Karthik. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The message from our Honorable Director would be delivered later at the end of the session. So now, before we proceed further, I would like to introduce our speaker, our resource person for today, Sri Vilasa Vigraha Dasa, who is a project lead of the Akshay Patra Foundation and Hare Krishna movement and an IITN. So before joining the Akshay Patra Foundation, Sri Vilasa Vigraha Dasa has done his BTech in Electronics and Communication from JNTU Hyderabad, and he went through GATE exam with a percentile of 99.24, has pursued MTech in Electronics from IIT Guwahati, and he worked in Tejas Network for 3 years in Research and Development Department. So he got inspired with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and joined as a full-time volunteer in the Akshay Patra Foundation from past 10 years. The Akshay Patra Foundation is the world's #1 midday meal program for the underprivileged school children, feeding 1.8 million children every day across 10 states, 23 locations of India, wherein very sophisticated technology is being used to cook very hygiene hot meals and deliver them on timely manner. Most of the kitchens are ISO certified and Six Sigma level are implemented to ensure quality, efficiency, etc. So our present speaker, Sri Vilasa Vigraha Dasa, has coached many thousands of students from many reputed colleges to give them light and hope in their lives. He is very versed in guiding students in the knowledge of personal and people management. So today we are here and join to hands to hearty welcome to Sri Vilasa Vigraha Dasa. Sir, over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Karthik sir, and welcome all of you to the faculty and the students of SPOUSE School of Planning and Architecture. And I'm very happy to have this session. And 1 minute. I would like to share. Yeah. So thank you for giving opportunity, sir, to know more about. And it is a very wonderful inauguration and wonderful introduction about the importance of yoga and meditation in our day-to-day life. It's almost all what I wanted to tell you is mostly it is covered, but I just go through the glimpse, the invocation. Okay, so yes, as Y.S. Rao sir has already discussed, these are what is the importance of yoga and meditation in our day-to-day life, because this is thoroughly and seriously known to the people of this world. Because if I ask you the question, like if I see like there is something called every moment and every moment we are looking for happiness in this world. Yes. So now, for example, you take in the 18th century, around 1770, there is something called industrial revolution has been started. Industrial revolution means earlier every work used to be done with the human resources. But in the industrial revolution, what they thought is all the work will be done by the machines, and that we can play football and enjoy the nature. Isn't it? So after that, it is around 1780s to around 1945. The second revolution, semiconductor revolution has come. Because in the industrial revolution, the problem was actually because these are big machines and big pollution and maintenance. If anything goes wrong, it is a big hectic it was. So what they thought is all the problems can be solved if you go for a digital revolution, means semiconductor revolution. In the 1945, around this semiconductor industry has come, and there is something called digitalization of the world. Now everything, dunia muthi mein, means everything has come into the hand. Everything, the mobile, you can access anywhere and everywhere in this world. Isn't it? Now in the 21st century, as we know, there is a robotic revolution. Like why I'm saying about this is, revolution after revolution is coming, expecting the people will be happy and social relations will be more better. But my question to you all, tell from your heart, is that as the revolution is increasing, but the happiness in the world is increasing? No, isn't it? The peace and in the peace in the world is increasing? No. On the other hand, we see the stress in the world is increasing, and anxiety are increasing, and depression. So all unwanted things are increasing, and unfortunately, there is no peace of mind in the world. Isn't it? So there is nothing wrong with the technology. There is nothing wrong with the innovations and revolution. There is something to be looked after in our life is to know about ourselves. Isn't it? So what is happening is, no, we are too much worried and we are too much transformation we are trying to do in the external world, but unfortunately we are not looking inside of ourselves. So that is one of the most important aspect. Yes. So today what I am going to share is from about the yoga and meditation actually plays a major role. Unfortunately, this is a time tested principle, and so a person once practice this, then can definitely have an experience of happiness and peace and better social connectivity. And I would like what I'm going to talk is from my spiritual master, what all I learned from last 12 years, isn't it? So my spiritual master AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada is a founder of Hare Krishna, worldwide Hare Krishna movement. Okay, so now coming to today's session. Yeah, now if yoga and meditation can solve the problems of life, then let's talk little about what is this yoga and meditation and get inspired. Okay, so what is yoga? Isn't it? What is yoga? As soon as we hear the word yoga, isn't it, what comes to our mind? What pops up in our mind? Many people yoga means generally think asana and pranayama, isn't it? Some breathing exercises, some postures, isn't it? Actually there is something much beyond that we can get from this yoga and meditation, much beyond, because this asana and pranayama only concise to only the body of a oneself, because there is something higher self that exists rather than our body only. As your professors also discussed, there is something. Yeah, what is that? Is let's do a small, like for example, we are on a trip to a Goa in a car. Who are all like in a car? We are all going. Then in this car, let's see who are all there. What are all the objects we are able to see? In this, who are all there? Driver and the passenger and the car. So these three things, in a trip, these three things we are able to see. Yes or no? So like that, in our existence of our day-to-day life is, car is related to our body. In our journey of achieving the happiness, car is related to our body, isn't it? And the driver is our mind, because our mind is the one guides us what to do and what not to do, isn't it? And what decisions has to take, isn't it? And finally, the experiencer, the passenger, is a soul, isn't it? So what I wanted to bring it here is, yoga is not just a physical well-being. Yes, physical well-being is also a part of yoga, but just by only doing the postures and asanas will not help a person to be happy in his life, because he has to take care of other two faculties of existence of ourselves. There are three existence. One is body, one is mind, and one is consciousness, the soul, isn't it? So when we are doing yoga means, we have to do yoga for the body and yoga for mind and the soul. Okay, so today I'll discuss the first part about the yoga of the body. As I was saying, when we perform a yoga and meditation, it helps us not only the physical body, it also helps us to maintain the good healthy mind and a right consciousness, isn't it? So now let's talk about the yoga for the so now this is an authorized principle. This is not someone has, see, for example, it's a conventional yoga system contains this called Asta Anga Yoga. Asta means 8 angas will be there. Asta means 8 in Sanskrit. Asta, okay, anga means parts. So like that, in the Astanga Yoga Paddhati, in the conventional, you can see there are 8 steps like this: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana.
Sir, sorry for interruption. Slides are not changing, sir.
Slides are not changing. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. 1 minute. I'll share it again. Now is it? Are you able to see?
Yes, sir. You can make it to full screen, sir.
Full screen.
Yeah, I made a full screen already. Okay, it takes time probably.
Through browser, you can do it, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now is it full screen? You are able to see?
No, sir, not yet, sir.
No, sir.
I think it is okay because it's readable. I think if we change into full screen, if it is not working, then problem.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Yes, Abhinav, you can.
I'm sorry. I pressed already presenting. Yeah, yeah. Now it's working. You're able to see full screen.
Not it.
No, we can continue like this, sir, but because
I think we can continue. It is readable. It's
Sir,
not very.
yeah,
Please.
sir, you have to share the whole screen. Now you're
Okay, I
sharing
have to
only
share
the
the whole
tab,
screen.
so that's
Okay,
why
I'll
it's
share the
happening.
whole screen then. Yeah, that is a bad idea. I'll
Yeah.
share the whole screen. Your entire screen. Yeah, that is a. I think now. I've shared the whole screen instead of window.
Not yet.
No, sir, not yet.
Once you check. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I just wanted to bring you back. Yeah. So now the car is the body, driver, mind. Yeah, as I've discussed. Okay. Now let's come back to this 8 parts of our yoga system. Okay, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana. I just wanted to bring. I'm not going detail into it. I just want to bring you to your notice that. I'm sorry, I'm getting disturbed, sir. Some voice is coming. Okay, yeah, thank you. So I want to bring it to your notice, right? Any yoga system contains these 3 things. Please don't forget to only care for the body. See, for example, yama, niyama, and asana are exclusively for making the body better. Because unless the vehicle is very nice, you cannot use vehicle anywhere, isn't it? So it should be healthy to achieve what we want to be, achieve in our life. And apart from body, pranayama, pratyahara, and dharana, these are exclusively for body and mind, because health of the body and mind. And there are also dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So like that, in any yoga system, if you take, it is not just talking about the body, it is also talking about the mind and the soul also, because it requires overall health of everyone. Overall health is decided not just by the physical health, it also decided by the mental and the consciousness of a person, isn't it? So now we'll just talk a glimpse about the yoga for body, because already sir has spoken about yoga for body is basically asanas and pranayamas. And out of all the asanas, I recommend you for the yoga for the body, the Surya Namaskara plays a major role. Yeah. So because in the Surya Namaskara, there are around 244 exercises has been, yoga postures has been covered. Yoga for the body, because it contains the pranayama and it contains the asanas of yes. So I'll share you this with the PPT with the sir, so that he can share with you. And these are the 12 various positions of a Surya Namaskara. Most of you might be already aware of. I'll just go to a glimpse. In the position, every alternate position will be inhaling and exhaling, isn't it? And changing the positions of the hands and legs. It makes us to form a various yoga postures, isn't it? Like first we'll be holding the hand and the normal position, then raise the arms, inhale and go back, raise your arms. Then while exhaling, we have to touch our feet, and then while inhaling, we have to take the left leg back, and exhaling, we have to maintain our bend like a mountain position. Then touching the earth with all the parts of the body. So then inhaling and raising our face. Then 8th is maintaining again the mountain position. The 9th is again inhaling and bringing step forward. and the 10th is exhaling and coming to the bending position, and again inhaling and going back. So these are the 12 postures which contains all the steps. So now what are all the, yes, we have to do this at least, it takes just 10 to 15 minutes every day to do 12 sets. Okay, 12 sets, 15 minutes, but the immense benefit we could able to get if anybody is practicing, definitely they'll be appreciating, because a very short span you'll get an immense good health, isn't it? So now till now what we are talking about is yoga for a body only, because is it sufficient to take care of just the body? Because if I have a car, isn't it, and I have to use the car, if I'm every day in the evening and morning, if I'm just going and cleaning the car, is it sufficient? No, isn't it? Most important is we have to drive the car to reach our destination. Okay, so now the driver is one. I'm going to talk about the yoga for mind and the soul, isn't it? Yoga for mind and the soul, isn't it? Because mind is the most important organ. We'll just talk about the mind. What do we know about the mind? Because mind is the most important organ, in all of the out of all the organs of the brain or the mind. Because see, for example, hand will move the mechanical things and legs will move us from one place to another place. What does the mind do? Mind does is, as we know, it takes the decisions, it thinks about certain things, it controls the things, it controls all the body parts. There are innumerable things the mind will do, isn't it? Because mind is the most important organ that coordinate whole intelligence of the body. There is something called a bodily intelligence that even coordinated by the mind only, isn't it? So whole body is under the control of the grip, under the control of the mind, isn't it? So now it is said that this mind, how many operations, because I was saying this, the whole body, like wherever, like for example, where is a small pimple has been formed on your face, immediately there will be an operation, feedback and recovery mechanism. No, there is a artificial, of course, natural intelligence, how to recover that state. Like that, there are millions of operations will be keep on doing by the mind, isn't it? And there will be a millions of things working around it. So why I want to bring it to your notice is, let's read this. Let's see a small a text. Like you can see, if you can read, all of you please can read this, if you could able to see on the screen. If you can read this, you have a strange mind too. I could not believe that I could actually understand what I was reading. The phenomenal power of the human mind, according to research at Cambridge University, it doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and last letter be in the right place. The rest can be a total mess and you can still read it without a problem. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. Amazing here. And I always thought spelling was important. See the power of mechanism. What I wanted to say is our brain, our mind contains a lot of technology. Now, what all technology the world is speaking about is already there within us. Like today we are very Alexa, amazed by seeing the Alexa, Google Voice. No, but our brain is already containing the voice recognition system, the face recognition system, video recognition system. What, like for example, you can see the Cambridge University. This is something called linguistic recognition system. Means like already Cambridge is wrong, and not even seeing the word university, the mind already read it as a university. So what I wanted to say is there is a most potential guy we are always carrying with us. But the question is not I have a resource, but the question is, am I utilizing this resource? I might be having a very great intelligent person next to me, but the question is, am I utilizing this resource in my day-to-day life? Is a question. So art of mind control is a session makes us to make our mind friends with us, to utilize our all potentials in our real-time day-to-day life, to deal with one own self, to deal with the people around us. Okay, so now let's see in a real-time circumstances how today's world. Let's see, watch a small video. You'll understand what I am talking about. Let's see a professional man. Now something went wrong in office. Okay. he was trying to give a printout. Okay, he's trying to give a printout, and he saw that it is not given proper print. Then he thought little intelligent that let me check. He thought of changing the cartridge as we generally do, but let's see what happened. So here we could see, like just now I'm talking about a mind, how potential it is, isn't it? And it can do miraculous things. But what happened in the real time? You see a professional person, there's something gone wrong, like some printer or gadget, the ink has spilled into his body. Immediately got irritated. No, what he was doing, see a foolish thing. What he is doing? No, he is bringing the monitor and keeping on the Xerox machine and trying to take a printout from it. See how foolishly a person is working. What I wanted to bring is, when the mind is not under our control, the same potential mind makes us crazy. That is a challenge. If that is the reason, it is very, very important to know and put our mind as a servant in our life. Okay, so that's the reason. Let's understand the mechanism of the mind. Why the mind has behaved like this, let's see. Okay, because he also having all the potentials, but why in real time, why he could not able to utilize his resources? No, we will see now. Okay, let's see the mechanism of the mind. So this is a general understanding of how our mind works. No, our mind doesn't have direct connection with this world. It has a connection with the five indriyas called jnanendriyas. It acquires the knowledge from the five indriyas, either from the sight or from the touch or by hearing or tasting or smelling. Isn't it? So mind has no direct relation. If it has entered into the mind, means it might have entered either of these five senses. Okay, so now coming to the mind, you can see here the mind is divided into two colors. One is a light green and a blue, isn't it? So now you can see a light green portion is only a 12%. This is called conscious mind. Okay, what is called conscious mind, and the other portion is called a subconscious mind. And it is told that in our day-to-day life, utility of our mind, in our day-to-day life, utility of mind is mostly subconscious mind, because conscious mind means you are conscious when, like for example, when I'm talking to you directly, if I'm a new person to you, your conscious mind will be properly working, isn't it? But it's a subconscious mind, as most of you might be knowing, that it accumulates so many things and adds everything and gives an output, or what do you say? It gives a solution. I'll talk more about the subconscious mind also, of course. So now what I wanted to bring you into day-to-day life is, see, it is said that why it is given 88% will be utilizing in subconscious mind is, for example, does anybody know that what is going to happen after 1 minute or 5 minutes? No, nobody knows what is going to happen after 5 minutes, because in the real time we don't know what is going to happen after 5 minutes. Most of our life, we'll be taking the decision not using the conscious mind, we'll be taking the decision using our subconscious mind. So it is very, very important to know what is there in the subconscious mind and what is stored in the subconscious mind. Okay, so now I'll go little detail about our subconscious mind. So what is the function of the subconscious mind is, it is a storehouse of thoughts. What is that? It is a storehouse of thoughts. Thoughts means, as we know, like for example, in the crude way, if you take it, like you had been to a Golgappa or Pani Puri shop, and all of you are eating there. Okay, and at the end of the goal, almost all you have completed and you paid amount and about to come back, and there is a other person came and he's paying the money and asking, I want a samosa cutlet. Till now you have just had a pani puri, and suddenly someone told, no, you give me a samosa cutlet. Then we thought, oh my god, unnecessarily I had this pani puri, I would have taken samosa cutlet. Isn't it? So that time, since you have not fulfilled, a thought has generated, I would have eaten, that will be, because it is not used at that time, so that goes and stored in a subconscious mind. Like for example, if anybody is coming to our house, what we'll do is, there is some here and there, some unnecessary items are there, we'll just immediately take and dump into our stores. Like that, the subconscious mind also, it will be used as, like, whatever the random thoughts has been generated, it just dumps those thoughts into our subconscious mind. Now, then what happens? Why it is very important to know? Let's see. Because our mind is a thought factory. Thought factory means, as we know, in a soap factory, soaps will be generated. A mobile factory, mobiles will be assembled. Like that, in a thought factory, accumulation of these 5 indriyas, there will be a constant generation of thoughts. For example, let's take a 30 seconds, close your eyes and observe your mind. What all thoughts are coming? Just wait, all of us, please, let's do this 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds, please close your eyes and observe yourself that what all thoughts are coming into your mind. Just observe. After 30 seconds, I'll ask you. Okay, so now if we see ourselves in this 30 seconds, there are random thoughts. There are so many thoughts are coming, like someone of your brother or cousin or your home. Immediately you got an option that you started speaking to someone, or some idea about some project, or what is next if you're organizing, or somebody we might be thinking that, am I only closing the eyes and trying this, or others also completing this? Like, no, you can see in a 30 seconds of time, so many ideas or thoughts will be coming. And it is told that in every day, in a common man, 60,000 thoughts, and most of them are random and unnecessary. Random and unnecessary. So why I'm talking about so much about the thoughts is because the controlling of the mind will happen only at the thought level. Because if the thoughts are not controlled, then it is very impossible to control our mind. Just let's see a very interesting saying about it. Must be knowing. Like for example, you watch your thoughts. What happens? After a few days, the thoughts will become words, or words will become action. For example, like you are staying with your friends or a cousin or brother in your home, that you don't like to put your bed sheet or dresses here and there. You would have told your brother or friend not to keep things like this. You have to keep in a different way. You have to keep it clean. But next time, even though after telling also, if they're repeating the same mistake again, immediately, we might have not scolded them, immediately we start speaking, inner voice will generate, why this person don't listen, why this person doesn't have any cleanliness, what is this person like this? We start an internal talk before. Then if the mistake is continuously repeating, then we raise your hands. It leads to a fight. So what I want to say is, a thought again and again, same situation will leads to an internal voice. Internal voice, we speak about him. Isn't it? Then that internal voice, when it becomes strengthened enough, then we start fighting the people. Isn't it? We start using our arms and legs. Isn't it? And if the actions are continued, obviously we know the same action, repetitive action, make a person to develop habits. And we know habits, a person is defined as a sum of his habits. We can define a person just by knowing what are all the habits he has. Because once the character is formed, we can conclude what destiny means, what are all the life, what are all the relationships he is going to have, what are all the life he is going to experience. All his destiny of life can be concluded. Isn't it? So what I wanted to say is, now to come to a particular destiny or particular situation in our life, it is not that particular situation itself as a cause. Sometimes you may say, actually why I got irritated is this person is like this. You may say like that, but it is not just because of that situation. It is because of the source of either the good decision or the bad decision is that if you have not cultivated proper thoughts, isn't it? If you have not cultivated proper thought, it becomes very difficult for you. For example, I'll just show a small yeah. So I want to am I visible in a full screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you can see here now what is happening is, you can see this a glass of water. This is our subconscious mind, isn't it? Now you can see when we are taking a bath, you can see here the glass of water, is it? In the water it is there. So when we are taken in a bath, our subconscious mind is very clean and neat. It is so sweet. That's the reason when we are in childhood, first standard, second standard, everyone used to take care and kiss us, isn't it? But as soon as we are growing, after a few years, they ask us only, what marks we are getting, where we are, what is our career, and it will not be like as sweet as when we are in the childhood. No, where would have things gone wrong? Let's see. What happens is, it is a subconscious mind. No, it is so clean and neat and so sweet. Every interaction we feel happy and satisfied. It is only till the age of, it's called a Kaumara, of course, a childhood, around 2 to 3 years. So in that time, the subconscious mind is not sensitive to the external world. For example, take a child, if he is crying, isn't it? Take him to a mall and show him various shopping complex. Will he stop crying? He will not even know where he is. Isn't it? So first a few years of the child, he will not be even noticing what is happening in the external world. Isn't it? But what happens is, when there is a change, there is something in Sanskrit is called kosha. As the time passes, the consciousness of a person becomes sensitive to the external world. Isn't it? What happens is, for example, like initially he was not sensitive to what is success, what is failure, what is insult, and all these things. But as soon as we are growing, it becomes sensitive to the external world, and sometimes after all the negative experience that comes in our life, it will be, as I was saying, that it keep on storing subconsciously. Like when we see a person is insulting someone also, it just keep on storing. Or we would have watched a movie in that there is some insult or there is some failure or whatever it is there, subconscious mind keeps simply storing it. So what happens is, when the same situation, when one situation comes connecting to it, now what happens is that situation will go and disturb it. Is it? So like this, you can see earlier the glass was, it was so nice, but you can see the glass is so dirty. Okay, I'm sorry, the glass is so dirty, isn't it? What happens is, all the storehouse of unnecessary scratch and all, one situation is bringing all this memories, thoughts, because in the subconsciousness mind, what happens is, simply keep on adding the things, and there is a complex network is formed. There's a complex network formed, and where it triggers and where it opens, where it triggers, where it opens, it becomes challenging and pulled to one side and disturbed at other side. It has lost its connectivity, isn't it? So now why I'm talking about is, now if you see on our day-to-day life, isn't it? So now if we see in our day-to-day life, like if we see around us, all these things, as all the negative things around us, it keep on increasing, isn't it? So what happens is, when we are midst of, like today, because of, I'm sorry to say, because of over communication, everything, whatever something somewhere happened negative is simply known to everyone. Earlier, at least, because we don't have this communication, we don't even know what too much negative things are happening. But because of today's too much over communication, somewhere, some corner, something happened, it's known to everybody. Because of that, so much of nonsense isn't it? We are putting into our consciousness, and that is the one which is resulting. For example, it is like a virus in a computer. Now what happens, like if, as a virus in a computer, if there is a virus in your computer, you wanted to control, you want to move the mouse. Suddenly what happens, instead of moving the mouse, there are so many applications will be opening, and the computer will become so busy that you cannot even open my computer also, isn't it? Now what is happening is, this virus is like a software. Now what it is doing is, it is overusing our processor. It goes and sit in the processor. When you request one, click the mouse, it makes it 1,000 times you click. Virus is nothing but it unnecessarily starts unnecessary processes, isn't it? Like that, in our day-to-day life also, so many unnecessary things in thinking, unnecessary thoughts and situations and experiences are sitting and triggering parallelly so many things. So now it is very, very important to wash away. Unless we wash away the virus from, put an antivirus and take away the virus from the computer will never come into our control. No, it becomes handed over to the control of the virus or the person who has hacked it, isn't it? In the same way, the efficiency of the mind can be utilized when we take away the virus from our subconscious mind, or the unnecessary things which are all stored in our subconscious mind. That is the reason. Because of that, people feel all these negative effects, lack of confidence. You take a child, he'll be so confident. What is your name? He'll say, come and tell. But what happens to our day-to-day life? As soon as you grow a little big, if you ask someone just to speak about 2 minutes, then immediately he'll afraid. As we heard, public speaking is the most fearful thing in this world. 1 minute you ask someone to give a mic and speak, and immediately he'll afraid. What all the confidence and determination used to be there in the childhood, all things will be going wrong, isn't it? So like that's the reason, because when the mind is get negatively affected, all the negative effects starts in our life. Hypertension, all these things. So now I just wanted to bring a methodology that how to refresh our mind. Of course, all of you might be knowing, because we are attending the yoga and meditation technique. Yeah, answer is the meditation. Yes. So now meditation is a process, isn't it, to take away what are all unnecessarily, because it's a maintenance time. You have to give little maintenance time for your mind and body system, isn't it? Unless we don't give the time for our maintenance of our own self, it can be like if you take anything, like will laptop have a maintenance time. In the night it will clear away the things, catch it, clear everything. Like that, our brain and the mind requires a maintenance time, isn't it? That is the reason we should not think mind is an enemy. Sometimes people think that why this mind is, if I want to get up early in the morning, this mind is not allowing. This mind is really an enemy for me. No, mind is never been an enemy. It is the one you made it. When you want to get up, that you have habituated the body that it started demanding so much to the mind that you don't want to get up early in the morning. Mind is never be an enemy. It is always a friend. But unfortunately, it is like a sharp knife. A knife is, can you say a knife is itself wrong? No. A knife is if it is in the hand of a thief, it takes away life. But the same knife, when it is in the hand of a surgeon, it gives a life for a person, isn't it? Knife is same thing, isn't it? In the same way, the mind is the same thing. If you properly utilize, if you give time, at least 10 minutes for it, 10 minutes for physical body and 10 to 15 minutes. Of course, once you start giving time for it, you only give more time for your mind, because it improves the efficiency like anything once you start experiencing it, isn't it? So of course, Krishna says the same thing in the Bhagavad Gita, as what all I'm saying, that for him, one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. So like mind, when you give the maintenance to the mind, when you do the meditation techniques, isn't it, mind will be conquered, mind will be strengthened, isn't it? But at the same time, when you forgot to do this, it becomes a greatest enemy. Like what is the difference? For example, we have so many friends. Who is the best friend? Best friend, generally, we have so many Facebook friends, general friends, we have a best friends. Why do we say a particular person as a best friend? Means, why would you say? Because he cares more for us, and he thinks more for us, isn't it? And he'll be helping, he'll be next to us all the time. Isn't it? Take an example, sometimes, I also studied from a very far engineering, and I used to travel at time of my studies. So whenever, even now also, whenever I go to my home, when we are coming back, while returning, our mothers will keep so many things in our bag, thinking that he's staying in a hostel, what kind of food he's eating, isn't it? So we are not thinking while going back what kind of things I'll eat, but our mother is thinking, no, already 1 week, next 10 days, and storing so many sweets and kachoris and all those things in our bag, isn't it? Like when our best friend, he thinks more 10 times more in our life to take a decision, isn't it? On the other hand, greatest enemy, if the mind is not controlled, it becomes the greatest enemy, because we have seen same in that video how a professional man, a small printer, isn't it, not working, he had become crazy and acted highly crazily in this world, isn't it? So that is the reason, same mind acts as a greatest enemy. Please, it is a caution and is a serious thing that we have to look into, isn't it? Unless we give. Yeah. Now, for example, you may ask me a question, sir. Yes, it is very important that we have to clean. As we clean the body every day, we feel very refreshed if we clean our internal self. Now, now how to clean this glass? Now I have shown you that the glass is added as so now you can see this glass. All of you can see this glass. Yeah. So now you can see there is so much dust in the glass. Our day-to-day life, subconscious mind is filled with unnecessary dust, isn't it? So now how to clean this water? Now, how to clean this water? You may ask, you may tell, so you're going to use the filter, or you may say those things. But I have only one glass. I have to utilize it parallelly. I have to clean this, isn't it? Now, I'll share a small methodology. You might have already got it. For example, take this glass is filled with so much of dirt. What you have to do is, now, if I add a more water into the glass like this, if I add more water into the glass, the mind, you can see here, the glass earlier was so dirty, isn't it? Now you see so transparent, like any situation which comes, he is not even getting disturbed. So it is very important to clean our subconscious mind in our day-to-day life. Isn't it? So now here, to clean our subconscious mind in our day-to-day life, now here what the only methodology that we have is a meditation, and one is knowledge and one is meditation. So one can read thought-provoking books, and that is the reason there are so many scriptures and various spiritual knowledge being provided, so that the mind will be filled with always with a great knowledge, isn't it? And there is one more thing, to clean our subconscious mind is called using a sound vibration technique, because according to the science, the sound can penetrate into our subconscious mind. And for example, if we are sleeping, isn't it? The only way to wake up a person is by uttering his name. Hey Rajesh, get up. By telling, hey Karthik, get up. So immediately it enters into our subconscious mind again. So sound is have a greatest energy that it enters into a subconscious mind and refreshes it. Of course, as we have poured water, if I would have poured dirty water, it would have never been clean. So I have used a clean water. Like that, the sound should be a pure sound. One of the pure sound, as we know, is Om is the pure sound, as we heard. So generate this Om sound vibration and pay attention to it, isn't it? That's the reason the mantra is called man means mind, tra means delivers. It takes away what are all unnecessary things accumulated in our subconscious mind in a day-to-day life. So that is a Omkara mantra. When you sit in a poster and utter your word and hear to it, then it enters into every day. If you could able to practice, every day we practice 2 hours of this sound meditation from last 12 years. Of course, I started from 10 minutes to half an hour to 1 hour to the 2 hours every day, from 5 o'clock to the 7 o'clock. We particularly, how much we are busy in this world, we generally do it, isn't it? So that is the importance of doing a mantra meditation, practicing the sound meditation every day. Here the meditation technique, what I am saying is a sound meditation techniques. It penetrates into your subconscious mind and takes away what are all unnecessary things. Today's world, for their business, people are putting so many unnecessary things in the mind, not required. So we have to take away all those things, isn't it? And it is proven in the scientifically also, effect of sound vibration on the body. They have seen the all our brain and the mind works with the ultrasonic sound waves. You can see if the mind is working, there is something called the frequency, is a technical terminology. You can just see the down one, delta 123 hertz. If these kind of frequencies are there, then we can see, understand person is in a deep sleep. If the frequencies in his brain are 4 to 8, then he is in a relaxation or in a meditation mode. If the frequencies are 9 to 14 hertz, he is in a creation or active mode, and he is in a 15 to 30 hertz, he is awakened and in discussion mode. And if it is more beyond it, then he is in a disturbed mode. So now, using this scientific understanding, now what they taught is this sound vibration, what we are chanting, the Om or any spiritual vibration, makes a person to bring back the mind frequencies to come and blow. There is a scientific technology has been proven in this. The Westerners are working. It's not just an Indian or some related to a particular country. It is a whole world is utilizing this wonderful techniques. Even in today's science also using to cure so many ultrasonic sounds to create so many diseases. You can see the California University, Katrina McCon, intensive meditation can help people focusing their attention and sustain even during the most boring of time. See, there are so many the Journal of Neuroscience compared the non-meditators and meditators have more stability in their ventral post-medial cortex, VPMC. The VPMC, a region linked to spontaneous thoughts and mind wanderings, lies on the underside of the brain in the middle of the head. Means our mind ability, as I was saying, the resourcefulness start increasing if you could able to spare little time for this. Of course, we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Followers of Sanatana Dharma, we chant this sound vibration. But any spiritual vibration is equally potential. Omkara mantra or any spiritual vibration you consider. Now there are so many newspaper articles are carrying that 9 minutes chant a day keeps a doctor away. A person becomes so healthy. I tell you, one of the biggest challenge when, for example, 5 to 10 years before, I know that I have to do a nice exercise to the body, but always I was keep on postponing because of uncontrollable mind. But when we start practicing, when we start doing, strengthening our mind, then all the bodily parts, all our actions, all our words, everything comes into our mind, and life becomes so happy and peaceful. So of course, the mind control will, as I was saying, it results in a positive changes in our life, development of excellent memory, creativity, and great health. These are actually not naturally we improve personal relationships and increase self-confidence. So these are the benefits if you could be able to refresh our mind in our day-to-day life. Okay, and yeah, so this is a overall session what I am going to. So the problems we face today are mainly due to our uncontrolled mind. As I was saying that generations are changing, but the problem is because of the uncontrolled mind. And knowing our subconscious mind is necessary. Cleaning our subconscious mind using the meditation techniques helps us to develop our happy relationships and physical and mental well-being. And spiritual knowledge and meditation are the powerful techniques to live a happy living. Okay, so these are the few glimpses that today we spoke about importance of increasing the well-being of ourselves, of physically and mentally. Okay, so lastly, I wanted to say, rule your mind or else it will rule you. Okay, so and this is one of the things, yeah, and this is the end of session, sir. Yeah, and just a small announcement. I will be regularly giving these kind of sessions on knowing about ourselves, and this link will be forwarded to all of you. And if anybody would like to know more about the science of self today, because I have only half an hour to 45 minutes, I could cover as much as possible what I did. So if anybody would like to know more about this, yeah, you can, we'll be forwarding this link from the YS Rao sir, and you can register and you can attend regular session and you can know the various events, what all, where all we are giving the webinar. Okay, so that's it. And we'll be, yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your beautiful presentation and a talk on the mind control through yoga and meditation. We are very blessed to hear your
Any questions from the
conversation, sir.
audience?
Yes, sir, Rao, sir.
Any questions from the audience you can ask?
Yes.
You can chat, you can use a chat note if you have any questions.
I told the same thing.
I request audience, staff, students, faculty, if there are any questions, you can please come forward.
Otherwise, we will continue. Karthik, it seems no questions.
Yes. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Srinivas Daketi, sir, a member Fit India Yoga and Health Club, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Karthik. Just can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. We can see the screen, sir.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, so I would just like to start with the health is the greatest of all possessions. A pale cobbler is better than a sick king. So this is one of the quote by Jonathan Swift. And so every human being is the author of his own health or disease. So as rightly said by our guest speaker, right now, I think we are very grateful to you, sir, our guest speaker, Sri Vilasa Vigrahadasa, for his valuable presentation and his valuable time, to spending time with us, and hope we'll have a better, we'll have more sessions with you, and we'll get in touch with you, like our students, staff, etc. And I would also like to thank our in-charge director, Dr. Abdul Razak, for being part of this webinar. I'd like to thank Dr. Meenakshi Jain, our director, who could not be part of this webinar. And special thanks to Dr. Y.S. Rao, who is a nodal officer, Fit India Yoga and Health Club, and very active participant for all the webinars and conferences. And the members of the Fit India and Yoga Health Club, Mr. Karthik, Nayana, Janardhan, for their support, valuable support throughout organizing various programs as part of this. And special thanks to IT department for being part, making this possible. And we would like to acknowledge all the faculty members, staff, and students who are part of this. And once again, sir, we would like to express our special gratitude on behalf of School of Planning and Architecture, Sri Vilasa Vigrahadasa Garu, for being part of this webinar. And thank you, thanks a lot for everyone for being part of this webinar, which is only for 1 hour, but hopefully this would be an mind opening session for everyone who are not into yoga, who are not into meditation. So let's be part of this. So I'd like to end this session by saying that yoga is a journey of the self, through the self, and to the self, which is from Bhagavad Gita. And train your mind to see the good, and train your body to feel good. So thanks a lot, Karthik, once again for your
Thank you, sir.
anchoring
Thank
again.
you. Thank you.
Sir,
Thank
thank
you,
you for
Yuva.
organizing this first of its kind webinar on the eve of Yoga Day. And this one has brought out Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 elements of yoga, right from Yama, Niyama to Samadhi. Very nice and inspiring, and I hope students take a cue from there and look for similar forms of opportunities for meditation and spiritual refinement. Thank you, sir. Thank you, the team. Thank you, team, for organizing.
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
Krishna Kumar.
Karthik, say one please.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. You can see the live YouTube in future.
Yeah, we can see the live of the link in the YouTube also. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, sir. Thank you, Rajat, sir. Thank you, our faculty. Thank you, Ramesh Konekonda, sir. Please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.